What's going on everyone and welcome to the channel. My name's Jack, I'm a chef by trade and my whole purpose for this channel is to give you 100% confidence in the kitchen as well as teach you absolutely everything I know. In this one we're going to be making a sun-dried tomato pesto pasta that's cheap and easy to make, tastes fantastic and only requires a few simple ingredients. Please sit back, relax and enjoy. Alright guys, let's start this off by placing a large saucepan filled 3/4 full of water onto our stovetop over a high heat. Season the water with 1 tablespoon or 10 grams of sea salt flakes and bring the water to a boil. Once boiling, we can add in 300 grams or 10.5 ounces of the pasta of your choice, which in this case I'm using Fusilli, which is a spiralized variety. And all we want to do with this is give it a good stir every now and again, just so it doesn't stick together, and cook this as per your packet instructions, just until it's al dente or soft with a slight bite. Now to make the sun-dried tomato pesto, we're going to need either a food processor, blender or mortar and pestle, and add in 100 grams or 3.5 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes which have been removed from their oil. Only 1 clove of garlic, as most sun-dried tomatoes are made with minced garlic and we don't want to overpower it. 1/4 cup or 30 grams of untoasted pine nuts, which are optional but they do add a delicious nutty and creamy flavour and texture. 1 cup or 15 grams of fresh basil leaves for freshness obviously and a beautiful floral background note. 2 tablespoons or 6 grams of freshly grated Pecorino Romano for a nice sharp, buttery and nutty flavour which can be substituted for Parmigiano Reggiano. Then 1/3 cup or 80 milliliters of the oil that soaks the sun-dried tomatoes, which adds more depth of flavour and it can be substituted for extra virgin olive oil if required. Season the pesto with 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sea salt flakes and 10 cracks of black pepper. Then pop the lid on nice and tight so we don't have pesto all over our walls and roof. Turn the food processor onto the highest setting and blitz this together to form a nice smooth yet very slightly chunky sun-dried tomato pesto. And if you're using a mortar and pestle, it's the same procedure, just bash all of the ingredients together. Once the pestos come together, we can then turn this off, safely remove the lid, remove the bowl from the base, and add our deliciously smooth yet slightly chunky pesto into a small bowl, or you can leave it in the food processor to save dishes. Now back to the pasta. This has been cooking away for the time stated on our packet instructions and it's looking and feeling al dente or soft with a slight bite. We can then turn this off the heat, remove it from the stovetop and pour it through a colander or sieve to drain, being very careful of the steam. We can then place the same saucepan back onto our stovetop or heat resistant surface and add in the drained pasta straight back in along with any small amounts of water that may be left on the pasta. Proceed by adding in the delicious sun-dried tomato pesto, being sure to get it all in there to avoid any wastage, and thoroughly mix the pesto through the pasta to ensure that there's no large clumps and it's evenly distributed throughout. You'll then be left with a beautiful looking pasta that's used its ridges and grooves to grab a hold of that pesto, which with every bite will release a burst of awesome flavour. We can then serve this up in a nice bowl or plate or straight out of the saucepan if you really can't wait. Grate over some fresh Pecorino Romano or Parmigiano Reggiano cheese for a delicious ending touch. A few cracks of black pepper for a slightly warm spice. A few torn leaves of fresh basil for a nice freshness and contrasting colour. And this then leads to the best part that makes all of this worthwhile, which is that we can then dig in. You really have to try this one, it's so fresh, full of flavour and so easy to make. The best part about this dish too is that it can be eaten cold, so it's fantastic for those work lunches, a picnic, or if you're just looking for a quick snack on the go. This recipe here serves 2 and can easily be doubled, tripled and so on. And to store it, we can place it in the fridge in an airtight container where it will last up to 5 days, or you can place it in the freezer in an airtight container where it will last up to 4 months. To reheat this, you can place it back in a pot or a pan over a medium heat and heat it up till it's nice and hot, but I recommend adding a splash of water or stock just to get things moving around again, or you can place it in a microwave, just do whatever's easiest for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I was able to teach you something. If you did, be sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing to see hundreds of more fantastic recipes. Thanks for watching everyone, stay safe and enjoy.